Welcome back to Haunted Horizons, where the darkness has eyes and the shadows whisper your name. Tonight, we bring you the terrifying legend of the Hollow Man, a figure that appears only after you notice him. And once you see him, he never stops watching. At first, he stands in the distance, motionless under a street lamp. But every time you look away, he gets closer. The whispers begin, the knocking starts, and soon your own reflection might not be yours anymore. Some say he's just a myth, but others were never seen again. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and whatever you do, don't look too long. Chapter 1: The First Sight. I never used to believe in the supernatural. Ghost stories, urban legends, they were nothing but fiction to me. That was before I saw him. It started 3 nights ago. I was walking home late, the streets empty and silent. A heavy mist clung to the pavement, swallowing the glow of the streetlights. As I turned the corner onto my street, I noticed a figure standing beneath the flickering lamp. He was tall, unnaturally so. His limbs stretched too long, his posture stiff, unnatural. He wore a dark coat, his face hidden beneath the shadow of a wide-brimmed hat. I should have kept walking, ignored him, but something about the way he stood, motionless, facing me, sent a shiver down my spine. Then he tilted his head. A slow, deliberate motion, like he was studying me. I blinked, and he was gone. Chapter 2: The Nightwalker. I told myself it was a trick of the light, maybe exhaustion playing with my mind. But that night, as I lay in bed, I felt it, the presence. It was subtle at first, like the weight of unseen eyes pressing against my skin. My bedroom window faced the street, and though I tried to ignore it, I found myself glancing outside. He was there, standing beneath the street lamp, perfectly still, staring up at my window. I wanted to move, to close the blinds, but my body wouldn't obey. It was as if I was frozen in place, trapped under his gaze. I blinked again, forcing myself to look away. And when I looked back, he was closer. Chapter 3: The Hollow Knock. The next night, I locked every door, shut every curtain, and told myself that nothing was out there. But at exactly 3:03 a.m., the knocking started. 3 slow, deliberate knocks on my bedroom window. I didn't move. The knocking came again, louder this time, shaking the glass. I wanted to scream, to call someone, but my phone was dead. I reached for my bedside lamp, and the knocking stopped. For a long moment, there was silence. Then, from outside my window, I heard it. A whisper, faint, almost carried by the wind. Let me in. Chapter 4: No Reflection. The following day, I barely left my apartment. Every time I passed a reflective surface, a mirror, a window, even the screen of my phone, I had the horrible sensation that something was wrong. Then I saw it. In the mirror above my bathroom sink, my reflection wasn't quite right. My head tilted at an angle I hadn't moved it. My mouth curled into a smile I didn't make, and behind me, barely visible in the dim light, he was standing there. I spun around, but the room was empty. When I turned back to the mirror, my reflection was normal, but the shower curtain had moved. Chapter 5: The Rules. I scoured the internet, searching for anything that resembled what I was experiencing. That's when I found it, an old forum post from years ago. People described seeing him, the Hollow Man, a presence that appeared only after noticing him. The more you look, the closer he gets. And there were rules. Never acknowledge him aloud. Never let him catch you staring too long. Never, under any circumstance, open a door if he knocks. I should have read those rules sooner, because that night, when the knocking started again, I answered. Chapter 6. The Other Side. The moment I turned the handle, a gust of freezing air rushed past me, extinguishing every light in my apartment. My body seized with terror as I realized my mistake. The world around me shifted. I was no longer in my apartment. The walls stretched higher. The ceiling disappeared into blackness. Shadows pulsed and flickered, whispering words I couldn't understand. And then he stepped forward. Up close, he was worse than I had imagined. His skin was wash paper thin, stretched too tightly over his elongated bones. His fingers twitched, long and unnatural, as if testing their movement. Then he removed his hat. There was nothing beneath it. No eyes, no mouth, no face, only a hollow, endless void. Chapter 7. The Final Sight. I don't know how long I was trapped there. Time didn't exist in that place. Then suddenly, I was back. I woke up in my apartment, gasping for air. The lights were on. My door was locked. Everything looked normal. But something was different. The mirrors were gone. Every single one. The windows were covered. My phone's screen was cracked, blacked out. And then I realized I could no longer see my reflection. Epilogue. The cycle continues. I moved to a new city. I changed my name. I told myself it was over. But every so often, when I pass by a darkened window, I see him. Not in the street, not in the mirror, but standing inside the glass. Watching, waiting. And if you've read this far, he's watching you now too.